There's no dispute that it worked, and we didn't have to kill a whole bunch of people or shut down the Strait of Hormuz. Now,
well, there was some dispute that it didn't work.
Well,
our present president believed that it didn't work, which is why he pulled out of it.
It's not clear that he didn't believe that it didn't work. He just said it didn't work.
Worst deal of all time.
Yeah, because I did it, which is fine. That seems to be a pattern. But there was no serious independent folks who would say that it didn't work.
For nearly a decade, the team mocked Obama's Iran nuclear deal as weak, embarrassing, and catastrophic. But now, the team may be facing the exact same reality Obama warned about, and Iran knows it.
Not Iran talking about they want to negotiate with the GOAT. Talk with the GOAT. And they ain't talking about Trumpity Trump, Trumpity Trump.
So Iran just tweeted out that they will only negotiate with Obama. Yep. They said, sorry, we're holding out for the GOAT. Yeah, we're not talking to you. We were going to wait for President Obama, the greatest president of all time. We're chilling here by the Strait of Hormuz until you send in the varsity team. We will only negotiate with Obama. Oh my, Trump's head is going to explode.
Iran is now trolling Mr. Donald Trump. This is so good. Take a look, take a peek at this. Hey, real Donald Trump, we've reviewed the tapes and decided we are only talk to the GOAT. They want to talk to the GOAT. Holding out for Obama. The big line right here. You know, the greatest president in U.S. history. Until he's back online, we just here chilling by the Strait of Hormuz. No hard feelings. But we only negotiate with the varsity team. I mean, that is absolutely, like, really sticking it to them. They just want to deal with the varsity team, knowing that basically Donald Trump is not on the varsity team. He's basically on, like, pee-wee. You got to give it to Iran. They really know how to throw the jabs to the left and to the right. It's absolutely unbelievable.
The political trolling coming out of Iran right now is absolutely brutal. And if you're the T, this is probably the last thing you wanted to see dominating social media. But now, after months of military escalation, airstrikes, and rising tensions in the Middle East, something deeply ironic is happening online. Iran and its supporters are openly trolling DT by saying they only want to negotiate with the GOAT, and they're talking about Obama. Now, obviously, Obama is not coming back to negotiate. That part is political trolling, but the symbolism behind it, it's what's driving this entire conversation. Because the current negotiations between the United States and Iran are not happening because of the old JC Power deal itself. They're happening because the region just experienced a major military crisis. The US and Israel carried out coordinated strikes against Iranian nuclear facilities and military leadership after concluding that diplomacy had failed and that Iran's nuclear ambitions had become an immediate security threat. The fear was simple. A nuclear-armed Iran could destabilize the entire region and pose a direct danger to both Israel and American interests. So now, after military escalation pushed the region to the brink, both sides are once again talking about negotiations, and that's where Obama's name comes back into the picture. Not because he's literally negotiating, but because people are comparing the current chaos to the period when the Iran nuclear deal, the JC Power, was still active. Supporters of that deal argue that whatever its flaws were, it at least created a framework for inspections, oversight, and communication. They say the agreement slowed Iran's nuclear development and prevented the exact kind of crisis we're seeing today. Critics of Trump are now using that comparison to hammer him politically. They're saying, you tore up Obama's deal claiming you had a better plan. Years later, we ended up with military strikes, regional instability, and another emergency negotiation anyway. And that's why the trolling is landing so hard online. When Iranian accounts joke that they're waiting for the varsity team or only negotiating with the GOAT, they're not literally campaigning for Obama. They're mocking DT's image as the master negotiator. They're trying to portray Obama as the calm strategist and DT as the guy who escalated tensions without producing a lasting solution. And let's be honest, politically, that cuts directly against DT's brand. DT built his reputation on dominance, leverage, and deal-making. He repeatedly told voters that Obama was weak and that he alone could negotiate stronger agreements without dragging America into endless conflict. That was a major reason why many voters supported him in the first place. People wanted peace, economic stability, lower prices, and fewer foreign entanglements. And politically, this kind of mockery matters more than people think, because DT's brand is strength, dominance, and respect. So when foreign rivals publicly clown him online and portray Obama as the adult in the room, it creates exactly the kind of image DT hates most. Weakness. Instead of looking feared, he's being mocked. Instead of looking like the deal maker, he's being sidelined. And instead of erasing Obama's legacy, people are saying he may have accidentally strengthened it. And that's where this entire story takes an unexpected turn. Because despite years of political attacks, people still insist Obama's Iran deal was actually working.
Even Israeli intelligence thought it was working. Even our intelligence services thought it was working. So there's no dispute that it worked.
Well, there you have it. We wouldn't be in this mess if Trump wouldn't have ripped up the deal that Obama made with Iran. Whether you like it or not, it was working. For what it needed to do, it was working. But it just wasn't a good thing, according to Trump. Let me tell you something. And I know MAGA is going to come into the comment section and they're going to be like, oh, what do you want to do? Just send pallets of money over to Iran? It was Iran's money with interest. Okay? Or what do you, Iran can't have nukes. And then here's the thing. It doesn't matter if he goes over there and destroys that entire country or wherever, so we don't have to send money here, and there. Okay? You'll never see the money that Trump saves. Okay? The higher elites will see it, but the middle class will never see it. Where's that Doge money at? Where's that $5,000, MAGA? Where's that at? Huh? All that fraud that Elon Musk found. Did you get that? You didn't get that, did you? Huh? What about the $2,000? Huh? What about the peace president? Oh, I can negotiate anything. You can't be a good president unless you can negotiate. Where's that at? You all voted. You voted for no wars. You voted for cheap gas. You voted for eggs. You voted for groceries. And guess what you got? You got an egg. Yeah, that's what you got, was an egg.
A lot of people don't know that Obama made a deal with Iran about their nuclear program that actually worked. It was called the JCPOA, or the Iran nuclear deal. Basically, the United States asked Iran, do you have a nuclear program? Iran said, no, we don't have a nuclear program. And the United States said, well, we need to check. So an agreement was made that Iran would agree to random inspections by the United Nations weapons inspectors. And this was actually the same deal that the United Nations had with Iraq during Saddam Hussein. Areas and facilities used to produce uranium would be closed and sealed and only accessible to the United Nations inspectors. 360-degree cameras and a security system was installed so these areas can be monitored at all times. And this deal actually worked. The Iranians were fine with it, but 1 month into Trump's first term, he did away with the agreement, saying that, oh, I could create a better agreement. Obviously, he did not create a better agreement. Now look, we're at war with Iran.
A lot of people still don't fully understand what the JCPOA agreement actually did. The deal wasn't designed to magically make Iran pro-American. It wasn't some friendship pact. Its purpose was far more specific. Limit Iran's nuclear activities in exchange for sanctions relief, while allowing international inspectors to monitor facilities connected to uranium enrichment. According to supporters of the agreement, those inspections were working, nuclear sites were monitored, enrichment levels were restricted, and inspectors had access that the international community considered valuable. And that's why many foreign policy experts argue that the deal was at least containing the situation. But DT and his supporters saw it very differently. They believe the agreement gave Iran too much breathing room, unlocked financial resources for the regime, only delayed the nuclear problem instead of permanently ending it. DT argued that a tougher maximum pressure strategy would force Iran into accepting a stronger and broader agreement. The problem is that history after the withdrawal became messy very quickly. And now, after all of that escalation, America is back at the negotiating table, trying to secure long-term limits on Iran's nuclear program anyway. And that's the irony critics are focusing on. They're saying DT destroyed Obama's deal because he claimed he could produce something tougher and more effective. But after years of pressure, sanctions, military escalation, the core issue remains unresolved, and diplomacy is once again being treated as necessary. But regardless of where people stand politically, one thing is undeniable: the contrast between Obama's Obama's diplomacy and its headline approach has become one of the defining foreign policy arguments of this era, and that's why the internet keeps circling back to Obama. Not because people believe he's secretly coming back to negotiate, but because his presidency has become the symbol of an alternative strategy, one based on diplomacy, inspections, and negotiated restraint instead of military escalation first. So when Iran trolls GT by saying they only want to talk to the GOAT, they're really making a broader point. They believe America has now come full circle after years of attacking Obama's deal, escalating pressure, and moving toward military confrontation. Washington once again finds itself searching for the exact thing it once rejected, a negotiated solution to Iran's nuclear ambitions.
This is what Barack Obama said about the agreement that they had with Iran regarding nuclear weapons. We pulled it off without firing a missile. We got 97% of their enriched uranium out. They were able to maintain a modest civilian nuclear program for energy. There's no dispute that it worked, and it didn't have to kill a whole bunch of people or shut down the Strait of Hormuz. Nope, and Trump ripped the agreement up, okay? The vile human needs to go away.
So what do you all think? Was Obama's deal flawed, or was it the best realistic option? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. I would love to keep this discussion going. Otherwise, that's it from me. I also have another video specifically tailored for you, and if you enjoy such kind of content, please click up here and enjoy. Also, consider subscribing, liking and sharing because it helps me grow my channel and helps YouTube recommend this video to a wider audience. But for now, thank you so much for watching, and until the next time, the Joy Report out.